The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John. Jesus said to his disciples, "I have much more to tell you, but you cannot bear it now. But when he comes, the Spirit of truth, he will guide you to all truth. He will not speak on his own, but he will speak what he hears, and will declare to you the things that are coming. He will glorify me, because he will take from what is mine and declare it to you. Everything that the Father has is mine. For this is the reason I told you, that he will take from what is mine and declare it to you." The Gospel of the Lord. In the German film Nowhere in Africa, the married couple that sort of make up the main protagonists are in a stressful time. They're being forced to move to another country out of Nazi Germany. And so they go to a former German colony in Africa where they spend those years working on a farm as sort of foreman. And the father in the film of the couple says at one point, love is very imperfect, and when it comes under stress, it becomes apparent that one loves more than the other. And there's a poignant discussion that takes place about the imperfections of human love. But human love is a reflection of the divine love, the divine love which we celebrate today in Trinity Sunday. For if God is love, as St. John tells us, then the Trinity is love. It works because God is one in nature. That's what Christ is getting at in the gospel, that everything that he has belongs to the Father, and everything that the Spirit will reveal to us through the church and through the indwelling in our heart belongs to him. And so they all share in that one nature. But God is by his nature a relation among the three persons of the Trinity. And so that perfect love is shared between the Father and the Son and the Spirit, and again, the Spirit and the Father. This love is perfect, and is perfect in and of itself. But God, in his gratuitous love, chose to create us, knowing that we would have an imperfect love for him. For the creation is never as perfect as the Creator. And so, even though he knew that we would often reject his love, walk away from him, offend him, he still chose to have us intimately involved in this love. And that's how gratuitous, how overwhelming the love of God is. And he's done his best to show us what that love really is made of. And this came not only through his covenant in the Old Testament, but most fully through the revelation of Christ, who came not only for our redemption, but in that redemption to show us what perfect love looks like. And he shows that on the cross, to lay down his life for ours. The total emptying of self for the other. And that's why, as imperfect as our love is, we strive to mirror the love that Christ has for us. And the love that he has for us is that love that is mirrored in the Trinity, which exists in the love between the Father and the Son and the Spirit and the Father. The great saints are really just examples of those who do this most heroically, who show the Trinity in their lives most fully, imperfectly still, but as heroically as anyone can. So if we look at the saints, just recently, many of us in our lifetimes can remember Mother Teresa and how people were so drawn to her. It wasn't necessarily because of her personality or because she had the best jokes or she made the best meals. It was none of these natural reasons. It was really something much deeper. It was that when they encountered her, that was about as close as they could come in a human being to encountering Christ. She had so molded her life to that of the Trinity that people encountered Christ in her. Or Saint Therese, who spent her entire life behind the four walls of her convent from the age of 15 on. And yet, after she died, her writings went around the world. The Story of a Soul became one of the most read books of all time, not because it was the most beautiful prose or because it was witty, but because she had written from the heart of her relationship with Christ. She had shown in that writing the love that we all long for, that perfect love in the Trinity. But it's not just something that's ethereal, something that is beyond us, that is a concept to be thought of. The Trinity certainly is beyond our comprehension. We're called to know as much as we can about it because God made us to know Him and therefore to love Him. You can't love what you don't know. And yet, it's something that is always going to be beyond us because our minds are finite and God is infinite. So if we ever think, like many heresies have through history, that we understand the Trinity, that's not it. Because it's always going to be beyond our understanding. Even the beatific vision, it will be a continual unfolding that never exhausts itself of getting to know God. Because even then, when we see Him face to face, we won't comprehend everything at once. And this is lived out not just in this ethereal, theoretic way, though. It's lived out in day-to-day life. Because indeed, marriage is an image of the love in the Trinity and of the love between Christ and His church. It's lived out imperfectly, but the more that we can unite the love in the marriage to the love of Christ and His church and between the members of the Holy Trinity, the more perfect that love will be and the more drawn the spouses and the family members will be to each other, and will other people be drawn to that family. Likewise, in the priesthood, the more fully we live out the marriage between Christ and His church, as we mirror Christ in that marriage to the church, the more fully people are drawn to that priest. It's not about his speaking abilities or his ability to organize things. Most often, people are drawn to priests who are close to God, who mirror that love that everyone longs for. I was just at an ordination yesterday where 11 Dominicans, one of them a close friend of mine, laid down their life for the church. And the church, it was at the Basilica, there were over 4,000 people there. Drawn not to the 3.5-hour ceremony, which took forever, but drawn to watch men lay down their life. The best wedding guests are the ones who are there not to get through the wedding so they get to the reception, but the ones who want to witness the giving over of one's life to the other, because those are the encounters where we find Christ. So if we keep thinking about the Trinity, keep trying to understand it, although we know we never will, the one thing we will come to understand is that the Trinity is all about love. And that love translates itself into our lives. And although we will always be imperfect in doing it, the more we love, the more we will emulate the Trinity. The more we will be drawn to each other. The more others will be drawn to us. And the more all of us together in that love will be drawn up into the love of the Trinity, both in this world and in the world to come.